What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Stay Nation with your boy Stay for another brand new Apex Legends video. Now today's video has been highly requested by you guys because, as you guys know, I play on PlayStation 4 and you guys want to know what's up. What, in my opinion, are the best console settings to date? It's been about a month since I released my last best console settings because when the Season 1 Battle Pass came out, there were some new settings that got implemented into the game and I gave you guys a breakdown on those. But now, with time comes experience, and I've learned a lot of things since the release of those settings. So I've gone through some pretty bad experiences in like the practice to test what these settings do exactly, and I've got some more understanding of what they're about. So I'm gonna be breaking down some key things today. I got a pretty groundbreaking setting for you console players, which will get you even closer to that PC feel. Yes, PC players, I know you're already triggered, but just sit tight, guys. Let's get ready, get your popcorn out, because we got some settings to change. Alrighty, everyone, so I'm going to be breaking down all 4 subcategories of our settings menu today, starting it off with gameplay. And one thing I want to put out there quickly before we do get started is that I'm going to be giving a justification to every little nook and cranny I touch on, because I like to give explanation since I have a reason behind all of my settings. Nothing is done for no reason, okay? All of these are fine-tuned to my specifications. So let's dive on into it now. Our interact prompt style, I've changed this back to default from the last video because I had it on compact and it's very nice, but the time I spent looking at hop-ups was driving me insane, okay? Although it was nice, the time I save now just looking at those picture indicators of a select fire receiver, a skull piercer, or a precision choke saves me so much more time. So those pictures are going to be the quickest to react to, and that's why I've gone back to default. Moving it on to our button hints, I have this off. I feel like I've got my head wrapped around this game enough now that I don't need that. Our crosshair damage feedback, I have this with the X on the crosshair and with the shield icon. This is going to give you as much feedback as possible to know whether or not to push. I like knowing whether they're still in their shield health or base health, and then also I like to know when I'm getting a hit. Our damage numbers, I have this on both, simply once again to give me as much feedback as possible. We get our stacking numbers to get a live feed of all the damage we've dealt, and then we also get the big number on the bottom with both to let us know how much damage we dealt that shot. Moving it down to ping opacity, I have this on faded because they can be intrusive, specifically sometimes when you're aiming at distances and let's say you're aiming and there's an enemy there, but there's also a ping in the direction of that enemy. It can be quite intrusive, so leaving that faded at least gives you a chance of it not being intrusive. Our obituaries, I like to have this on. I just like seeing this type of stuff, so you guys can turn it on or off, up to you. Incoming damage feedback, I have this on 3D. Now you guys can run both, but me personally, I think it's a little bit too much going on in your screen. It can be intrusive, so I have it on 3D. Just pick 2D or 3D. Me personally, I like 3D better, so I choose the 1. Moving it down to streamer mode, holy smokes, guys, I've never seen so many comments in the comment section about why when I kill someone is it say like Wraith 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is why I have all streamer settings on, to keep everyone anonymized. I don't want anyone's names being put out there that if they don't want their name being out there. So that's why I have that on there. Most of you guys have it on off, so that's why their gamer tag pops up. Hopefully I cleared that up and hopefully I don't see that comment again, but if whatever, I'll keep answering it. I don't think it's ever gonna go away. Our usage sharing settings, I leave this enabled. Give respawn as much feedback as possible. Colorblind mode, I leave this off. I don't like the other colors. Me personally, I just like the colors as the way they are. If you guys like different colors, as you guys can tell, they're a little bit more faded. You guys can run those. Subtitles, I leave this on off. Specifically for video purposes, I actually recommend that you guys put them on, okay, because it can give you intel that you wouldn't otherwise know unless you had it on. So let's say Bangalore pops a smoke, she'll say she's popping smoke, but if she doesn't and you didn't hear her say it out loud in the game, you're gonna be like, is that an enemy smoke or is that our smoke? So I recommend you guys put that on. Me personally, I just have it off. Subtitle size, you guys can make this as big or small as you want. I don't know your guys' vision. Me personally, I'm fine, so I just leave it on normal when I do have it on. Enable accessible chat features, leave this off, and then convert incoming voice to chat text, I also leave this off. These are kind of like personal preference features. They're kind of irrelevant, but I have both of them off. So we're now going to dive into our controller settings, the stuff you guys probably most care about. And now I'm going to go through all this, but once again, I stress that you guys stay to the end of the video because I have a secret setting that has changed the game for me, even on a SCUF controller. Okay, and now getting into these button layouts, I want to tell you guys that I have done all my testing on a default PlayStation controller. So this is optimized for you guys. All the testing that was done was for you guys, to give you guys the best experience possible. Now, last video I did run Evolved, and it was my favorite controller layout, but there's one thing that was really bothering me, and it's the fact that since L1's jump, okay, that's going to be your tactical ability, which then gets moved over to X, R1 is now kind of wasted. You know what I mean? It's not being put into use, so you might as well bring your slide ability up to R1 and then free up your joystick, which is a key button and key place to put important things. And then this way, when you move down to Ninja, which is my new favorite controller preset, it adds as a double function for X. So you're going to be able to use your tactical ability with circle, and then now X is a double function, so you could ping, and then to use your ultimate, you just click circle and X at the same time. But once again, that frees up a whole button, adding that double function. So moving to Ninja, I feel, was the smartest move on a default controller. So now you're going to jump with L1, you're going to crouch and hold with R1, and you're going to melee with R3. But once again, guys, stay to the end of the video. Secret setting coming up, okay? So that is the controller presets there. I recommend you guys use Ninja. Now moving down to stick layouts, I leave this on default simply because I don't like messing with that stuff. I don't know if you guys prefer any of those options. Interact reload button, I leave this on tap. I don't want to have to hold to enable those features. That would be really inconvenient. Our crouch button, I have this on hold. Now, you guys are probably wondering why I'm holding. I made a video on how to b-hop on console properly, and unless you guys have this on the hold setting, you won't be able to b-hop for significant distances at significant speeds. This is the only way you're going to get close to that PC feel on console. If you guys have it on toggle, I see a lot of people saying they can do it on toggle, but you're not. I promise you, you're not doing it properly, because I've tried it for hours. And essentially, if you toggle it, you'll slide, and when you start hopping, you're not actually bunny hopping, you're just hopping, which is why you're moving so slow. So change this to hold. It takes a lot of getting used to, but it will change your game. Aim button, I leave this on hold. I'm not going to toggle to aim. That's madness. L2 R2 button dead zones, leave this all the way to none. This is going to make your triggers as sensitive as possible. So if you fight someone who has it on default and you have yours on none, and you both click your trigger at the same time, you'll start shooting before they start shooting or aiming. Okay, so I'll have those on none. Now moving on to our movement aiming settings, more very important settings, guys. I have all those grayed out because we're using our advanced look controls down here. I'll get into that in a sec. Our movement dead zones, leave this on small. This means you're gonna like, if you moved your joystick and you had a bigger dead zone, you basically, like, the beginning movement of that joystick wouldn't do anything. So you want that as small as possible. Inverted look, leave this to off unless you guys like playing inverted. Vibration, leave this off. The best way I could explain why you want vibrations off, even if you guys like it or are used to it right now, I used this example in the last video. I'm gonna use it again in this video because it's the perfect explanation. Why would you guys shoot a basketball with someone shaking you? You wouldn't. So why would you play video games trying to aim at something while the controller is shaking your hands? You don't want that. It's like, literally, vibration is like a 2008 feature. It's like, oh, we got vibrations in our controllers. Realism, just get rid of it, okay? You can pay extra in SCUF controllers to have vibration components removed, but obviously you could just remove them in game, so I'm not going to pay for that. But it's very beneficial to have them off. Moving to our advanced look controls now. This is what you guys are really going to want to focus on here. Custom look controls, turn those on. That is what's going to gray out everything up there. And then coming down to our dead zones, leave everything to the minimum here, okay? The standard default dead zone is right here, and this essentially, if you look to the right side, as I go larger, it adds a bigger dead zone. So that's how much the blue circle is, how much you're going to move outside of to actually get any movement out of your joystick. So bring this to a minimum. You want instant feedback. One quick disclaimer though, it may lead to a little bit of drifting in your controller when you're not touching it. Like, it may just start moving like this, but who cares, because 90% of the time you have your finger on the joystick, so you'll have maximum control. Outer threshold, bring this to a minimum as well. If we bring this bigger, you guys are going to see that it essentially shrinks your joystick, making fine-tuned movements more sensitive. So you don't want that. It's like playing on a Nintendo Switch, okay? You don't want that. Bring that down to 0. Response curve, I like the default response curve. I've played with a bunch of other ones, and honestly, the default is the best in my opinion. It's the smoothest. Target compensation, this is essentially your aim assist. I have this on. Unless you guys don't like aim assist, you could turn it off, but me personally, I feel it's quite beneficial for the average player. Now, our yaw speeds and pitch speeds, okay, this to break down explanations for all these settings, guys, I really want you to understand what they do. So our yaw speed, like it says, how quickly the view turns left or right. That's how fast you're going to look left or right. So it's basically your sensitivity. Our pitch speed is up and down. Now, for each of these settings, I've moved it 10 notches exactly above the default line for both of these. So as you guys could tell, the pitch speed is a bit lower, but that's okay. So 10 notches up above the default line for both of these. Now, turning to our turning extra yaw speeds, I have these cranked to the max for both because it allows for quicker turnarounds and snappier movements without the loss of fine-tuned controlling over your joysticks. Okay, so it's essentially just going to make it as snappy as possible, being able to turn around quick on someone, but you're not losing that fine-tuned controlling movement. But now this is where I changed things from the last settings video, and it really has made all the difference. The turning ramp up time I have set to the default. Why have I changed up the turning ramp up time? Well, as you guys can see, it says when stick input is at a maximum, how long it takes any extra yaw or pitch to reach its full strength. So essentially what this is going to do, and I went back to default settings. I turned these advanced settings off to really test what this setting was about, and it does make a difference, especially when aiming at ranges. If you guys have ever had a strong sensitivity and you're trying to lock onto a target, well, with this setting set to default, those fine-tuned little movements, it'll set your sensitivity at a smaller rate for the first little bit, but then after let's say like a little bit more of a joystick movement, that's when you'll get back into full speed. You'll be able to turn on people. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. You know, when you're trying to snap onto someone without aiming down your sights, it gives you a little bit of that slower sensitivity, but then allows for quick turnarounds with that high sensitivity. So that's why I have that there, guys, on default. Turning ramp up delay though, keep this set to 0 still. You don't want any delays. Essentially, that's just going to make your aim very choppy. This video is getting quite extensive. I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, but I like giving you guys the justification for all these settings. So moving it down now to our aim down sight settings, okay? Our ADS yaw speed and pitch speed, that's once again your sensitivity for moving up, down, left, right. I leave these on default. You want your aim down sight sensitivities fairly slow, but still quick enough to the point where you aren't lagging behind targets, especially when in close range. That's one thing that ate me up with the default settings, which is why you guys are going to want to run these. Aim down sight, turning extra yaw, have these cranked once again. These don't make it extremely fast when you're aiming down your sight, okay? Once again, it allows for fine-tuned controlling still, but our aim down sight turning ramp up time and delays, even though I have ramp up time for the movement, I don't have ramp up time for the aim down sight because it's already such a low sensitivity. You don't need it to be any slower. You want as precise aiming when you're aiming down your sight. So guys, that right there is going to do it for all our advanced look controls. I'm telling you, I have refined these to a T, and they are my favorite settings right now. This is exactly what I use as of the recording of this video. But now we're going to move it on to our video settings, the last little touch-ups for this video. My brightness, I have this actually cranked to a maximum just to make sure I'm seeing everything, especially in those dark shady corners where people might be hiding. Field of view, you want to set this to a max of 110. This is going to allow you to see as far like wide, side to side. So if someone is next to you with a, let's say 70 field of view, you may not be able to see them. Crank that to a 110, you'll be able to see them and past there. So it really opens up the field of view. If you guys have been playing on 110, go back to Call of Duty. It literally feels like you're playing Roblox. It's quite insane. Sprint view shake, this was another new setting implemented with the season 1 settings. Turn sprint view shake to minimal. You don't want your screen shaking when you're running. It makes things a lot more steady and just makes your play experience a lot better. Moving on. Oh, I changed something. Oh, discard, my bad. We're gonna go back to the settings really quick there, and I'm moving it on to our audio to finish this video up, guys. Our master volume, I have this on max. Sound effects volume, I also have this on max, and everything else I have fairly low. I know a lot of you guys probably deal with problems in the lobbies. The music's so loud. Crank this down to 10%. It's still pretty loud. Music volume in the lobby, when you're dropping on the ship, change this to 10 as well. It's so loud. And then dialogue, I've changed this also to 10. The reason why I have sound effects cranked to 100 is because I want to hear those footsteps. And then lastly, guys, our convert incoming voice to chat text. You guys can leave this on, leave this off. It's up to you guys. But that right there is going to do it for all my updated advanced settings. So many of you guys have been requesting this. I hope you guys really did enjoy. I went into extreme detail for you guys. I did so much, like, it's quite stupid how much testing I've done to get these controls down. But that is it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy, right before you guys leave, it literally takes a fraction of a second, okay? I would appreciate it if you guys drop the like. Helps out the channel immensely. And then also, if you guys want to see more from me, I'm not just a tip video man. I love doing gameplays and providing you guys with amazing content on a daily basis. And I also stream every single day in the evenings from 7 to 10 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. So if you guys want to do any of that, or any of that sounds interesting, man, make sure you hit that sub button. I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Start balling out with these settings and get updated now. Peace out. Ahaha! So you guys have finally made it to the end of the video, and you thought I snaked you, but I did say there was one final secret game-changing setting that I have for you guys, and this is it right here. So follow these instructions carefully, because I'm telling you, this will make your life so much easier on console. So I'm here in the settings, okay? As you guys can see, I popped right into the settings menu there, and you guys are going to take it down from the top all the way down to your accessibility settings right here. You're going to click on here, and you're going to come down to button assignments. Now, this is exactly how it's going to look for you guys. I've reset it, so this is exactly what you guys are going to see. You're going to click enable custom button assignments. You're going to come down to customize button assignments, and then change right here your square button. Click it and bring it on down to your R3 button. Now, this is going to move your R3 button to your square button, and then you're going to click confirm. But what this is going to do for you guys is essentially, I know a lot of you guys players, like, you watch Dizzy, you watch Shroud, and they're running around, and when they're looting, they're like, ba, 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 and they like pick up everything super exact. Well, you can't do that having to click square to pick up everything. And also, it's your reload button. So what this is going to do, it may take some getting used to an adjustment, but you're going to be able to look around and simply pick up things with your R3 button. So it's going to be really, really quick looting. You're going to be able to reload with R3 as well, and it just makes your game that much smoother. So use all the controller settings I said in the gameplay. This works around it. And then change in the accessibility settings, once again, your square button to R3, and it'll auto change R3 to square. So click confirm. You're good to go, guys. That is it once again. And now this is my official goodbye. Peace out.